Hi everyone, this is Erin from Sandpaper Road and welcome to another video of Use What You Have Vintage Cricut Edition. I love this series and this is episode 4, Ideas Using Vellum. So if you have had some, I don't know, maybe lack of ideas, lack of inspiration when it comes to using vellum, that's this great paper that's virtually see-through. I've got some great ideas for using it with your vintage Cricut or electronic cutting machine, so stick around. First, you want to make sure that your machine is set to accommodate cutting vellum. That means adjusting the speed and adjusting the pressure. Now, the newer machines have these sort of preset for you, but the very, very original vintage machine has these dials, and this one is set for speed and this one is set for pressure, and it gives you a little code like down here. Again, I don't want to take too much time, but here's what I'm going to recommend. I'm going to recommend that you find just some scrap pieces of vellum and you practice a little bit if you have this kind of machine. The lighter the better, the slower the better, but not necessarily too light or too slow because you want to make sure you cut through it and you don't want to be all day. So again, just plus it depends on what kind of vellum you have, because there's thicker and thinner and cheap and quality, and I guess I would just say to find some scrap pieces and play around with it. The next thing you're going to want to consider is adhesive options when using vellum, and you want to consider this before you start cutting. If you have been crafting for a while, you know that vellum can be a little bit tricky, a challenge within itself. I have some flowers here and some letters here, and it's beautiful paper to work with, except for the fact that gluing it down is sometimes just a bit tricky because you can see through it. So even something as simple as, let's see, even something as simple as a glue dot, I can try to show you on a glue dot here. Now you're going to see that glue dot through it, especially if I go to stick it right there. Okay, so because of that, vellum presents its own set of challenges, and that just comes right off. Now there are some vellum adhesives. I don't know. I personally have not had a whole lot of luck with vellum adhesives. You could certainly try like a wet glue. But again, it all depends if you're going to try to hide it. You know, you're going to end up with the same sort of problem with a wet glue than you are anything else. Now again, if you go to put this down and maybe your whole plan is that you're going to put something over top of it, you know, something else, or a sticker or something like that, you know, maybe you've got some die cuts or something you're going to put over top, you know, something like that to hide it, then it doesn't matter as much. But if you just want that to be this to be the focus, you've got a different challenge. So I absolutely recommend using a Xyron. This is the 3-inch disposable sticker maker. Or if you have like the Creative Station Lite, this is an amazing way to adhere your items. You simply just pull it right through. Okay, tear it off. Give a little rub with your finger. All right, you peel off this top thing. Maybe. There we go. Okay, and I'll get another piece of that same, this is the same vellum we've been seeing in the examples, and the same navy blue cardstock, but now the whole back of it is a sticker, and now when you stick it down, see the difference? So that is, the reason why you'll hear so many crafters say that they recommend the Xyron. This is a little adhesive eraser in case you get a little bit on the sides. Okay, and that's real nice. And no matter how hard I rub, even if, you know, it's a little uneven, it's not like a big glob like before. Isn't that nice? The same is true for the Creative Station then. And I'll just use the word family. Okay, I'll do it this way. And you just line the word up. Now again, let me show you the word. This is family. And then you've got this part, right? And then this has a little crank. And it comes out the other side real nice. It's got a little cutter. Like that. And it's the same thing as the flower. But now you can get your whole word down. And yeah. Yeah, there you go. If you just run some vellum through and make your cuts, then you could just go crazy. Flowers, 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 flowers. And here is a project that I made. I'm actually almost done. It's not quite done, but this is paper from Dare to be Artsy, and I fussy cut out of the paper from some flowers from there to put it onto a solid background. This is the, where is the original paper here? Yeah, I'm totally in love with this paper, but for this project, it was just a little bit busier than I wanted to show. So here, and then I added the flowers. Now, the nice thing, too, is that you can add creative brads to help put them down. And as we said, you know, earlier, you're going to have to decide what kind of adhesive ahead of time you're going to be using when you're dealing with vellum. And this is a nice way where you could just stick the brad through the paper. Now notice that I worked onto a panel. That way I could stick the brad through the panel and you don't see it on the inside because you adhere it down this way. And I just used my Xyron for some fun foam pieces. Ran some single-sided fun foam through my Xyron and made it double-sided foam, choosing a color that matched my card base. And that's always a great way to use your Xyron. As a matter of fact, you could use the Xyron too for your vellum flowers, which is something I do a lot. But here you can see, you know, I've got some, since I was going to use some brads, this is a nice way to use brads that you've had in your stash for a while. Here's some other creative brads and just some paint spatter and a nice sentiment from Creek Creations. Got the matching sentiment, or the coordinating one on the inside with just some fussy cuts there. So another thing you can do with the Cricut when you are using vellum is to cut words or letters and then layer them in the background or make them just a part of the whole card itself. So while I have the glue out from doing glitter, I'm going to continue here. This is the thanks, and it's from the original Cricut sampler that comes when you get the Cricut in the first place, I think. I don't know. It's been a really long time. And this is so thin and fine that running it through a Xyron is just not going to be a good idea for me. I could just already, it's just not a good idea. Sometimes you just have to pick and choose here. So, because I have a craft mat here for the desk, let's see how I'm going to do this. I believe these tweezers are going to be the best bet here. Okay. At least just to get it up. Now, let's see. I know you're all waiting to see how I'm going to do this. Just really trying. Now I'm going to start in the middle with the N. That's exactly what's going to happen. Okay, and shift it that way. Yep, that looks pretty not too bad. Looks pretty good. Now, I could do the same thing and have thanks, 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 and that could pretty much be a card. A very easy card. Now, in case you are look at the glitter. coming from the table. That's not a bad thing at all. But yeah, wet glue with the vellum on just words for the background. Wouldn't that be nice? Let me finish this card out here. Yeah, that's not going anywhere. As a matter of fact, I could just go like that. Put an acrylic block over it while I get the next one ready. That's a good idea. And ooh, you know what I just thought of? Since I have the brads out, if we're gonna do that, we better do that before we put this panel down. And here I am doing this, and we might even want some foam tape instead. All right, well, let's see what we have. We could use more of the flowers from before. That's gonna be perfect. Yeah, let's use more of the flowers. Excellent. Good idea. That's a little bit too big. Also, see, I like the fact that you can cut different sizes, except I'm having difficulty seeing what I'm trying to do here. 2. That looks good. I feel like I like to work in odd numbers, though. So it's either going to be 1 or 3. That, I don't know the 2. Oh, yeah, that looks good. All right, problem solved. So let's find our brads. Where did I just put them? How did I have that? Like that? Yeah, that looks good. Right there, and right there. And it's just a little pre-poke. And now I can go in and actually poke an actual hole. All right. There. I'm not gonna, ooh, that's not even a hole. I probably could have poked a little bit, there it is. I was about to say, you could always turn it over, you'll be able to see it a little bit better. Okay. And then just stick the thing right through it. Right through there. And that is gonna look great. And the brad will hold the vellum in place. No glue needed. We're gonna have plenty of glue going on back here. Hopefully I'll be able to get that out. Yeah, because guess what? Because I'm doing brads now, I am gonna want foam. That's okay, it'll give me an opportunity to show you here what it is I'm talking about. Okay. There. Very nice. Easy, easy, easy. That is the easy card of the year. Easy. Okay. Now this is what I mean about using foam. Is this the base? Yeah. All right, so let's say you want to go like this, right? Well, you've got this little bit of metal, so your card isn't quite gonna lay perfectly flat. This would be a great time. I wonder if I have, oh, okay. I was going to say, I wonder if I have purple fun foam, and sure enough, I do. So, it's not the exact purple, but that's fine. It doesn't have adhesive on it at all, though. So, let me go like this here. Give me a little bit of a size. Just to get myself started. Okay. And we're going to use this should fit right perfectly. Back here. Yeah. Now, this is going to be just fine. I'm not going to stick this on here just yet. Look what I should have done. See? That's all right. I should have pulled that up. I'm going to use my Creative Station, my Xyron Creative Station, and run this. Now check this out. You do the little crank, run that through like that. Oh, I didn't have it all the way through, that's why. Okay. And now it is sticky on the one side. like that. Take that off and run it back through a second time, but this time I'm going to run it face down instead of face up, just so that it comes through on the other side. Yep. Use the little paper cutter thing. And now I've got it sticky on both sides. Wait, did I do that right? Yeah, I did. Okay, I was about to say. Okay, and now I pull off the adhesive back and stick it right to the thing. This is going to be really sticky. Oh my goodness, sticky things. Okay. And then stick it this way. And that covers up the brads. See? Yeah, that's perfect. Very nice. That's good. I am not a huge fan of this right here. I wonder if I have an adhesive eraser that would come up. That helps, but yeah, we're gonna have to add more glitter there. That looks really nice and good. Yeah, simple card. And yeah, simple card. Thanks, thanks, thanks. You've got some flowers, and then when you open it up, you don't see the brads on the inside. So this was a good example of using the flowers, but also using the words. 1, 2, 3, using those words. And I've got some other words cut that I'll show you some other projects as well. Here's just a piece of paper from Dare to Be Artsy. I like this a lot. Oh, maybe I will. No, I'll just use it. Okay, oops. Started to tear a little bit there. I don't get too concerned about that. I just am a little bit more careful after that. Okay, and let's see how we're gonna do this. We'll just go like that, right there. Now, I am well aware that you can't see that very well. Okay, but here's what, this is just the beginning, because what would happen if I inked over that? It would catch on those edges. I see it in my head, and it's, I'm sure, hard to explain. So I'll just show you. I guess the whole point of this segment here, this part of the video, is to consider adhesive options beforehand. If I cut out this family, this word family, and didn't think ahead of time of how I was going to stick it down, I'd be stuck. Just no pun intended. There we go. Okay, family. I could line that up like that. Now I could use a little bit of undo also, but, and again, like I said, I know you can't see it very well. Okay, I'm going to turn this over and burnish the back. I'm just making this up as I go here, but I know what I want it to look like. Because watch this. Where is some ink? Well, that's black, so maybe I should use black. You know what? I think I just will. I think I just will. I don't know what this is going to look like, but I think I know what it's going to look like. All right, let me try some down here because I know it's going to cut off. Okay, good. All right. There. Now, watch. See how it appears? There we go. Light pressure from my hand, by the way. Maybe extra attention in and along the letters. There we go. It's like magic. And maybe that's not your thing, okay? I kind of like, oh, you can't see that. I just looked up in the camera frame. You can't see that real well. You really can't see it too well here. Well, possibly what we could do, because I wanted it to look a certain way and it just didn't do that. So this is my white, I need my readers. I don't know where they went. Okay. Let's do this. What if we used the white gel pen there to outline? There we go. Oops. Look at that. See? Now we get sort of the intention out there. So maybe in hindsight, maybe I wouldn't do this quite this way, but that's okay. It's probably going to end up looking awesome. So yeah, I would outline that. Doesn't that look better? Oh yeah, look at that. That looks really good. See it? Yeah, nice. So I've got a couple pieces here. I think I'm just gonna finish up this layout. This is some textured cardstock and some more textured cardstock. Okay, to go with the colors. I want this, I cut this out of the back. This is double-sided paper. So, yeah, I think what I'm going to do is cut this out of the back. Oops, not completely out of the back, but I need an X-Acto knife is what I need. Yeah, I think I'm going to just cut that and then I can fit a picture in there. And what blade in the world? Because I hope you can see it in my head. Move my thumb. Turn this. There we go. This needs to be open. Let's see. Maybe I do need that out. Well, I don't need it out. I just need it released. Like, released from the... Can this go underneath? So I just wanted to show you how this page ended up a lot different than when I started, isn't it? Even different for me. The funny thing is I wasn't even intending to use this picture with this when I started, but I think it looked really good. And I cut the word out. Once I adhered the word down, inked over it, you can see where the ink is. But then I remember I couldn't see it. I liked the vellum and I wanted to be able to see the pattern through, but I couldn't see it as well as see the word as well as I wanted to be able to see it. So I took another word and just put it right over top. And this is just some black acrylic paint, some fussy cuts from here. Here's some dots, more paint. This is just folding. I think I might have taken a paintbrush maybe and just put it like this and just like torn the edges and then like wrap that around when you spray it with water, and when it dries stiff. So yeah, this is Jagger. Jagger is family. Look at the birds, how it matches the cat. That's what's funny. Yeah, I like that page a lot. Another idea in using vellum with your Cricut is to make little gift tags or gift tag combinations. Now this was my inspiration for this. This was actually the tag that was on a piece of clothing that I got as a gift from a store called Altered State. And it just says a portion of the proceeds from every Altered State brand purchase will be donated to feed, clothe, and educate children. But what caught my eye was how nice that looked, that shaped cut on vellum. It is just heavy vellum, and then the embossed gold font. And I thought, oh my goodness, wouldn't that be nice? So I die cut. You can just cut, there's tags. This is actually from the sampler cartridge, and you can do the same tag out of vellum and out of cardstock. And let's see, this has a little pattern on it. Okay, right, already. Instead, if you're not comfortable with like doing embossing or whatever, I mean, you could stamp on that and do embossing, but I just found some printed vellum anyway, and just use that. And the thought is just to combine two together, either on top just as something nice or underneath, and create a nice little gift tag. Now, I have a little tip / trick at the same time, because this is just cardstock, the brown cardstock, and this is the combination as it comes in the cartridge. But look at the way it was cutting. I don't know. Let's see if I can move this out of the way. See how it is? It just didn't cut all the way through. It looked a little raggedy. And if that is happening to you, try changing the Cricut blade and also reducing the speed. But if that is happening, yeah, because once I changed the blade, I got better results. So the thought was to use this maybe on top of the companion tag and do eyelets or something. And it turned out really nice. Like, look, here's how it looked when I was done. Just a nice gift wrapped package for Christmas. And that one's ready to go. Isn't that nice? I thought that was really good. You could see I just put an eyelet in each one, in the vellum one and in the cardstock one, and just tied it with a ribbon. And that looks really nice. And people always say things like, oh, I feel like I should save that. Well, that's fine if you want to save it, but, you know, it's up to that person. So, another idea, gift tag combinations. You can use the shadow blackout feature. You could stamp and heat emboss if you were inspired by this idea from a clothes tag, you know. Yeah, lots of great ideas with that vintage Cricut. Another thing you can do with your Cricut cuts using vellum is to create little accents for little animals or critters or birds or something. Create an accent with the vellum and give it to them to hold, or create a hat for them. Or imagine that I would have created this little scarf. Instead of using a pattern paper, one option would be to use a vellum. And it's nice when you have like a printed vellum. This, I don't know where this vellum came from. I don't know the company at all. It was just in my stash. But like, I'll see if you can see it. And I see that you cannot see it well. But it's got little words on it. Bliss, dream, love, wishes. And how cute is that? Or even, you know, here's balloons. And this was all cut, I think, from the Cute Critters cartridge, where we did this guy in another video. But imagine him holding a balloon, you know, like that. Or imagine him holding a flag, you know. What I might do then is almost just, maybe if I'm going to do that, maybe just take some scissors and like cut right there his little, what is it called? Wing flap? I don't know. Arm. And turn it just so, and then re-adhere it back so that it's like horizontal. And then he can hold that. Or imagine these are some cut out birds from a stamp set I have. A Dylusions stamp set, and imagine the I know you can't see that when I do that like that. Here, how's this? Like, imagine that, you know, I have the bird holding the balloon in his mouth, or a flag. See, because then you could put a sentiment like that. That's kind of a thick, it's kind of a big flag. I could make it with the Cricut, make it a little smaller. But then you can stamp, if your vellum doesn't have words, you could stamp right inside that. This one's a better one from, I think it's from the same stamp set. I'm so sorry. I have, oh my gosh, I have my windows open and it's a beautiful day. And big trucks. There was a big truck going by. Look at that. Look at that with the balloon and the bird holding the balloon in his mouth. Isn't that cute? I think I like the way that looks too. Yeah, that's nice. Just give them something, you know, your little critters, give them something to do, something to hold, you know, a little hat to wear, whatever, doing it out of vellum so that your little critter is still the focus of your project, but you give it like a little accent. I think that's a really nice idea. And just as well, I have these stars. Imagine, you know, if you're making like a little moon project, you know, and then you do the stars in vellum. Isn't that cute? Something like that. And that would be good too, because then it doesn't, or you could do it vice versa, depending on what the focus of your page or your card or your project is, something like that. You know, just imagine that the vellum sort of blends into the background and doesn't quite take away from your project. What a loud morning. There's some, I live in Amish country and there's a horses pulling an Amish cart going by my house at the moment, carrying corn or something. So yeah, you could use vellum cuts to make accents for your projects. Okay, so I'm sharing with you a little bonus tip today with your vellum cuts. Another thing you can do with these cuts, and these are ones I've already showed throughout the video, is you can use dry embossing, like embossing folders, run them through an embossing folder and you've got even more variety. This is something I thought of that would be super cute. Like imagine if I had a little, where's my little critter from before? Imagine that I had this little guy right here. I'm just making this up, but and I put like a little graduation hat on him. And then I had him hold a flag. Wouldn't it be cool to have it say like class of such and such? Or even if it didn't, just, I don't know, maybe this was like in the background if I was doing a scrapbook page or something. But wouldn't it be cute if, like this is an embossing folder that has the little mortar boards on it. Now if I did it just such, just perfectly, where I could get like one of the mortar boards. Too bad I can't get one that fits. Yeah, like that one right there. Wouldn't that be cute? See how that would fit? That one right there could fit perfectly on the flag. It's just little cute things like that, you know, and have it come out. Or if you were giving a graduation gift, maybe, and this is the tag, the vellum tag from earlier. And even though this already has a little pattern, just imagine that it doesn't. And maybe you want to get, you know, a couple of the mortar boards on there that fit onto the tag. That would look cute, you know. So just kind of being mindful. Like I'm not going to try to jam this big one on unless I want sort of the look of just mortar boards in general, you know, and just run it through haphazardly. So that's one thing. The other thing is I'm looking at these stars, and like here I found a star embossing folder. Now that would be cute. I wonder, let's just try that. Let's just try that. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try this like this. And I'm going to add one of these like this. Okay? I wonder if I should have done that way. Possibly, I should have sprayed it first with water. And I'm gonna, there we go, go like that. All right, well, let's see how it ends up, okay? I'm gonna spritz just a little bit of water once it's in there. Oh no, that's a good way to do it. Just a bit, and now run it through. And we'll see what we get. Okay. Uh-oh. That's not good. My little handle thing came off. Now, this is normal. Okay, you're going to see that it curls up. And how am I going to be able to show this to you when it's curled up? Let's see. Because you can't really effectively, well, I suppose you can. Ooh, that looks good on the, let's see here. I may have overdone it with the water. A light spritz is what I'm looking for. So you don't see my big fingers. So maybe what I'll do in the meantime, while that is still a little bit wet, see how it's kind of curling up? You know what I'll do is I'm going to grab an acrylic block and put those off to the side while I do my other ones. And I'll just put the acrylic block over top, and then they won't curl up all weird like that. Let's try it with a tag. Same thing. I think I love these lace, the lace looking embossing folder. Isn't that nice? Can you see? I wonder if you can see. Maybe that's a little bit better. And then this one I have also. It's just real nice. So maybe we can put one of these through. Like this one, I could try to really get it on top of an actual design. So I'll put it there and just a little spritz. I'll use less water this time. How about that? Make it so it's straight. What is the purpose of the water, you may be wondering? Well, let me do one without. Vellum tends to, oh, that looks good. That looks really, really good. Very vintage. Ooh, wouldn't that, oh, that looks good. I really like the way that looks. I like that better than the stars. The star thing didn't really show up, although, you know what I could probably do is redo the stars and just change my, because I had one of these tabs unfolded because I didn't want to just plunge right through it. So let me try, maybe I just needed more pressure. And guess what? I won't add water this time. I also overdid it a little bit with the water as well. Oof. No, I am going to need to use that tab. It would never fit. But I won't use any more water than was already there. Okay. Oh, there's enough water. There was enough water that was already there. I think I overdid it with the water the first time. That looks kind of good too. Definitely the acrylic block helps a lot. Just to weigh that down while it dries. All right, so back to what I was saying. Let me do this one, and we'll use this, okay? Oops. We'll put it right in the middle. Watch, it probably won't happen. No water, okay? Just straight running it through. That looks actually pretty good. I stand corrected. But you know what? Come to think of it, I remember that this vellum itself is actually, I want to say it's by Stampin' Up. And it's a little bit of a thicker vellum. So maybe that's why it's holding up really well. This is what I wanted it to look like, and I wouldn't even need water. And it didn't go through. Really nice. Okay. Some of your thinner vellum, because I've done this before, and it just plunged right through. Like, instead of leaving a nice emboss, it just plunged right through and cut my shape into 1,000 pieces. And possibly my vellum was too thin to do that. So that's where the water kind of helps bend it. But this vellum is, I think, a better quality. So point of the technique is just to use your embossing folders to, you know, add some dimension, some interest, some texture. Rule of thumb, generally, honestly, is whatever vellum you plan to use in your project, get some scraps of that and play around with the technique first, and then you will be guaranteed to get good results. Well, hopefully you were inspired today by the projects you saw that you can make using your vintage Cricut and things that you can do with vellum. So hopefully this gave you some great ideas, maybe a few you can use, a few you can pass on. Thanks so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to Sandpaper Road on YouTube. And don't forget to click that little bell to receive notifications. Visit sandpaperroad.com for close-up photos and more tutorials, or to shop for products. And don't forget to follow Sandpaper Road on social media. And check the description box for product links for Cricut and special deals. And thanks for watching. And we will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.